What's up, California? This is Matt Kennedy, and you've tuned in to the Ultra MK podcast, where today, August 3rd, we are here on the Capitol steps in downtown Sacramento, and we are here for the Recall Gavin Newsom event that's about to start. It's a rally, and we have some great people that have joined us today. The weather is amazing. So we're here today in downtown Sacramento for the Gavin Newsom Recall event, and this is a great day to be out here, folks. You know, for those of you who have been just tuning into my program, we're a brand new show. We just started in June of this year, and so far, all of the feedback that we're getting is awesome because I want to report on the truth. What is happening? We want to be on the ground in California, especially because this is the deep state sanctuary. This is where everybody, the deep state, the New World Order, they want to control as a supermajority here in California because it's resourceful. It has the ocean that borders it. It's a southern border to Mexico. There's all kinds of different reasons why they want the state of California so bad. But we're here to talk about our governor today and the job that he's not doing. Everything we're seeing from the bullet train to nowhere, where it's been a total boondoggle. It's a money laundering operation. We can't wait for California to be doged, for people to actually see where those receipts went and where the money went. And the Palisades fire, Malibu, Paradise fire, all these things that have been happening in the state of California where we still don't have answers yet and there's been zero accountability. So whether it be Gavin Newsom or Karen Bass, mayor of Los Angeles, we the people demand accountability. So we're so excited for you to be here today with us in Sacramento. We're going to kind of walk around a little bit. We're going to get some interviews today, talk to some of my colleagues, some of my friends, my fellow patriots, and we're going to see what's on their mind. So why don't you come hang out with us for a little while? Here today with Mark Escobel, who is leading the charge with collecting signatures for the recall for Gavin Newsom. And we're just kind of getting acquainted here today in downtown Sacramento at the Capitol. And I just have some questions for you, Mark. How you been, man?
I'm good. I actually just got back from a red state, Idaho.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was good. We were up there doing a podcast for a trial, a really important trial for a gentleman by the name of John Mass. But now I'm back to my state and, knocking on Newsom's door.
Awesome, man. Whereabouts in California are you from?
I'm from Santa Cruz, California.
Santa Cruz. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Wow, man. That's kind of been a blue county for quite a while. What's it like being on the other side of the political spectrum, living outside?
Well, I grew up when it was a red county.
Wow.
So to watch it turn blue, to watch what UCSC did to our town, I mean, most of the people left because housing's outrageous, crime's outrageous.
How was the drug situation in Santa Cruz?
We have what's called penny bail. And so you could have 47 smash and grabs, and they'll just let you out next weekend because they don't want to pay for you Friday, Saturday, Sunday for, 3 square meals and a cot.
That's
so
horrible.
You're just guys running up and down Pacific Garden Mall with a machete on his 45th smash and grab. He's going to get arrested for his 46th.
A little swat on the hand.
And they're going to let him out on penny bail. So,
wow. I can't believe the level of corruption in some of these counties, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So how long have you been doing the recall effort?
I was involved in the last one with the Central Committee. I just went out and helped them get some signatures. And then when the CRA reached out to me, I said, yeah, sure, I'll start doing it just in my local area in Santa Cruz. But then I started seeing people like Corinne Rankin and Hilton and Bianco. All these people are talking about Newsom every single day, but not a single one of them has signed the form. So I literally went down into their area, went all up and down Southern California, stayed at Huntington Beach Pier, Oceanside Pier, Seaport Pier, and called them out and said, hey, come out here and sign my form. I'm from 6 hours away. You guys live here.
Yeah.
Corinne, you're the head of the Cal GOP, and you were just out knocking on doors, but you weren't getting any signatures.
Right.
So if you got the head of the Cal GOP is just blowing smoke, how are you ever going to turn this state red or get a conservative into office?
Yeah.
If the head of your group is like, I'm not too much into that.
I understand. Yeah. I actually helped do exactly what you were doing with trying to collect signatures during the first recall when it was still COVID and everybody was just irate.
Yep.
And when I set up, I actually did a 10 by 10 easy up booth on the side of a busy intersection my county.
Yeah.
And I had all kinds of Californians pulling in there. It wasn't just your typical Trump supporter or conservative Republican.
Yeah.
I literally had Subarus pulling in with rainbow flags. I had people that were not really political people, but they were like, this guy is just not doing the job. Not only is he not doing the job, but he's abusing his power.
Yeah.
So I completely know what it's like to interact with so many citizens that have similar views, right, as the people that are at this event. But we saw that recall happen, and they had results within like a few hours of closing the recall. But yet in a general election, it takes weeks to get these election results. What's your perspective of the way that this county, or I'm sorry, the state runs elections?
Well, Tom Fenton of Judicial Watch was the first one to kind of point it out. He's the one that found, I think it was like 1 or 2 million dirty voters on the voter rolls last year, but he had to sue the state of California to get that. Just like Kevin Kiley had to sue Newsom and Bonta to find out that we wasted $24 billion on the homeless.
Yeah.
Now, if you can't fix the homeless with $24 billion, we're not giving you any more money.
Right.
I mean, give me $1 billion, I'll fix the homeless problem.
Yeah. Well, and they didn't keep any real records or anything for that conveniently, right?
Yeah, shocking.
They didn't have any records of that.
Yeah.
But as a native Californian, are you starting to see certain patterns with the way that they receive either state-funded taxpayer money for projects or federal money, and before you know it, it's like nobody knows where all the money goes. Like the problem never went away, or it doesn't get fixed, right? Between trains and homelessness and different drug addicts and trying to deal with drug problems in major cities. It's starting to become kind of apparent that there are certain patterns there with the way that they receive taxpayer funds and how they spend it, and there's no accountability.
Yeah.
Isn't it wild?
Well, at the federal level, they pull the curtain back, and they're like, oh, look, it's all going through USAID. Okay, so the funding's coming from USAID, and then you go look at the state and county level, and you go, well, where's all that money going? And the biggest one that blew up in their face is the Fire Aid concert that raised $100 million, and not one single penny has gone to the Palisades or to Altadena.
It went to some NGOs out on the East Coast.
It went to multiple NGOs here, of which Newsom is tied to.
And his wife, I heard.
So if you're willing to run a grift and have a bunch of people donate free time, and you and Karen Bass are holding up permits right now for people to rebuild, and you're going to steal $100 million.
Allegedly.
Well, it's not allegedly. They have the receipts. So they've
Bring them out.
They've actually put the receipts out, and they're like, look, it went to this NGO, and it went to this and this and this. So everyone's walked it through a basic level accounting of, okay, $100 million came in. Anything go to the Palisades? Nope. Anything go to Altadena? Nope.
Right.
Well, where'd it go? Well, it went here, it went here, it went here, it went here. And they actually have the receipts. Everyone's talking about it like crazy. Part of my speech today is going to be about SB 549, where he then wanted to take our tax dollars and then buy that fire sale property with our tax dollars.
For low-income housing.
For low-income housing, and then there was a little carve-out also for the homeless. They wanted to shift 50% of the money over here, and then most of it was going to go to low-income housing.
I'm sure all the neighbors who actually saved their homes are going to love that.
Exactly.
As
Let's put a high-rise in with a bunch of criminals.
It's horrible, man.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, I want to thanks for this quick interview with you, brother.
Yeah.
I'll be here sticking around watching your speech today. I'd love to keep in contact with you. Maybe bring you back on the show sometime.
Definitely.
Cool, man. Mark, nice to meet you, man.
Hey, God bless you, brother.
Bro. Yep. All right, folks. I'm here today with a gubernatorial candidate for California governor, Mr. Leo Naranjo IV. And Leo, thanks for being up with me today.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Absolutely. So here on the Ultra MK podcast, what I'm trying to do is interview all of the candidates to highlight their strengths, talk about their vision, and talk about the mission that they're on to make California great again. So, Leo, is this the first time you've ever ran for governor?
First time I've ever ran for governor, much less public office here in this state. Born and raised here in Northern California. In '79, I decided to join the military to help out my mom at the moment. that went through a messy divorce. And VA kind of like put the kebabs on her benefits to keep a house. My joining the service was to prevent her from being homeless. And after 15 years of honorable service, I retired, came back to California, worked with the states, worked with the county, worked with the feds. And through all this time, I've always wanted to get into politics. I never really had that opportunity. But for the last 20 some odd years, I've been watching the slow deterioration of our state by people who claim to know, who claim to be politically astute, and who claim to be financially set, that they know how to fix the problems in this state. And for the last 30 years, I've seen nothing but the deterioration of a great state into an almost socialist haven of what it is today.
Wow.
So that brought me towards, we need to make changes. We need to have somebody who's going to do more than just say, I'm here for you, but never really mean it. We need to have someone in office that actually is going to commit to making changes and not just saying the flowery words to get you to vote for them.
Yeah.
And then they do what they want to do anyway after they're in office.
That's so true. We've seen that time and time again with all the issues. But to me, COVID really highlighted what a governor can do and shouldn't do and should do, right? There was a lot of opportunities for our governor to step up to actually question what was being rolled out with protocols in our state, and also the tons of mismanagement of money within our state. You know, we used to be a large, have a huge surplus in California,
$100 billion.
and businesses have been leaving, man. So Leo, what are some of the ideas that you have to kind of revitalize California again and kind of make us that powerhouse we once were?
Well, first and foremost, sir, what I'm here running for is first and foremost for the citizens of this state. You can go back to any candidate, Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, any one of them, and look at their platforms when they start. Not one of them makes that statement. I'm the only candidate who has stated I'm running first and foremost for the citizens of this state. What does that mean fiscally and financially? I'm one of the few candidates that's been in the financial world for over 25 years of my career. I know dollars, I know government dollars, I know where they need to go and how they need to be spent, but it's not frivolously. I might be footloose and fancy free with my wallet, but when it comes to holding your money as a government official, my expectation is if you gave it to me, I need to account to you how I'm spending it, where I'm spending it, and how much it's costing us. This building across the street, if you look at here, they're doing a fixed job on it. There's not one person in California that can tell you how much is being spent because they have NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. They're spending our money, but we don't even know what they're spending it on or how much is being spent. If I were to achieve the office of governor, number one, that would never happen. There will be no NDAs allowed in California if it entails and it includes finances from the public.
And that's what people want right now is transparency. We're time and time again, we're seeing like tax dollars being spent for homelessness programs, and they don't know where the receipts are. Time and time again, we're finding out that California government has been spending taxpayer dollars for illegal migrants to have health care. So there's tons of mismanagement. Leo is definitely going to have his work cut out for him, but it sounds like he has a good grasp on what he wants to do. What kind of hurdles are you starting to face with this gubernatorial race? I know that there is at least, seems like a dozen candidates running right now. What are some of the things that you want to do to kind of separate yourself from the pack?
Well, let me start by saying that there are a lot of candidates in the pack. There's about 12 Republicans. There's about 12, 15 Democrats. More are piling in. It's not a matter of all those candidates coming in that I'm worried about or dealing with. It's the headwinds that I face as a candidate within my own party to get traction. The people who want a candidate that can raise money for consultants are the impediment. The people who tell you that you don't have experience in government. But you look at what we have in government right now, and if that's the experience you're looking for, that's why I'm running, because that's a problem. Mm-hmm. I have people within the state who are so used and so taught that losing is a good thing that they can't see what a winner is when one steps up and says, I'm going to turn this around and we're going to start winning. Governor Newsom might be number one in the last place column, and I've always been handed last place positions, and within a year to 2 years, they've turned around and they were first, second, and third in placement. That's a major accomplishment, especially doing it in the military where you have all kinds of people that are impediments. Here in the political world, there's a lot in California that people want you to run, but they don't want you to succeed because it disrupts the status quo. Mm-hmm. And the status quo is the rich don't want a real candidate. The people say they do, but the political machines don't want one to be present. And that's what I'm here fighting against. And I haven't even started with the Democrats yet. I already know they're not going to like me because I'm a Republican. I already know they're not going to like me for my stances. But we as Californians face the same problem. There is no gas station here that has a business license that allows you, if you're a Democrat, to buy gas at $2 and charge me $7 and vice versa. But that's what we have here in California. We're facing $7, $8, $9 a gallon gas. We have to make changes, and we have to have a candidate that is convincing in his own message to convince you to vote for him.
Yeah, should you get elected, would you ever be open to doing like a Doge audit on the state?
Oh, that's coming.
Should
I be elected, sir? Let me tell you what's going to happen on day one. People always want to ask that question. On day one, what are you going to do? Well, on day one, I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do. My family, myself, my supporters, we're going to be recovering from the party that we had the night before were I to win the governorship. Day one is basically going to be nothing but us recovering. But on day two, we're going to hit the ground running. And my campaign status has not shifted no matter how much time has expired. The first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to end sanctuary state status in California. We're going to stop SB 54, and we're going to allow law enforcement to do their job. Everybody's excited about Prop 36. We're going to start funding Prop 36 again so law enforcement can do their job. We're going to try and bring businesses back to California so that we can be the third, fourth, fifth, whichever placement that we are as the largest economy in the world. But my goal is to see California be the third largest economy in the world by everything it produces, not by how much we can tax out of the public.
Yeah, that's good, Leo. Leo, I'm really glad that you came out here today to Sacramento. Thanks for joining me today on the Ultra MK podcast. Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you for your support, for everybody's support out there. And let me tell you, you've heard a little snippet of what I'm about today. When I get the opportunity to speak up here on the Capitol steps, you'll hear more.
Yeah.
Please don't be shocked on the first part. I have been planning this for a long time.
That's right.
And let me tell
how you get the people's attention.
That's how you get people's attention.
That's
and
right.
what we need now is people's attention. I was the first candidate that showed up here back in January when the recall effort took place. And I was the first candidate at the time, unofficial, that signed a recall petition. The only Republican candidate to do it. I was in an exploratory status. Well, now, since I've retired from federal service, I'm a full-blown candidate. There are no restrictions on me. And again, I'm the first Republican candidate to sign a recall petition. There's another candidate that has showed up, and that goes to what I've been saying before. I've led, others have followed, because there are no other Republican candidates here today except the two Leos that are running for governor race.
Leo, if people wanted to follow up with you more or see more content online, where can they find you?
You can find me on my website, leonaranjo4governor.com. You can see everything I stand for my platform, what it is that I envision for the state, and how it is I plan to go about doing it. You can also find me on LinkedIn, Leo Naranjo IV, Roman numeral, and you can find me on X, at Leo Naranjo IV.
God bless you, Leo.
Thank you very much for your
coming
time.
on the show today.
Appreciate it.
I don't want you here. We don't want you to do this. This is a waste of your time. This is a waste of your money. All these signs mean nothing. Go away. Go away. If you ever thought that I was that type of politician, you wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be wasting your time. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Leo Naranjo IV, and I'm running for governor of this state. And contrary to popular belief, I'm not kowtowing to the powers that be behind me. I'm not kowtowing to the consultants that don't want this to happen. I'm not kowtowing to those people that are doing everything possible to stop what you are trying to do here today. What I am doing is putting voice to what's going on right now.
And it was from a guy who said, "Hi, this is Mel." And about 11:30 at night, and I said, "Okay." And it was Mel Gibson. And he says, I've just lost everything. And my neighbors have lost everything. And I'm pissed. And we didn't have any water pressure. We didn't have any water. Gavin Newsom sat on his ass for 3 days and did nothing but let the Palisades burn. Well, again, sometimes with fire comes blessings. Mel Gibson has become the chairman of this campaign. He's put his ass on the line. He's put his name out there. And for that, I appreciate Mel more than people ever know. And I tell him that pretty much on a regular basis. He could be here today. He sends his love and his greetings. He is in Rome filming the sequel to Passion of the Christ called The Resurrection. So he's going from Rome, Italy to Africa. And And so he'll be there for the next probably month or so. He sends his greetings today. But Elaine is remarkable. She was she's very accomplished. She's got the street cred, as the kids like to say. Are you doing season 3 of Undercover Billionaire?
No.
No! Okay, very good. Well, maybe she'll be a little
It wouldn't be undercover.
It wouldn't be undercover because it's such a low. She was the star of Undercover Billionaire for the last 2 seasons on Discovery Network, and she's just an amazing leader. And but she lost a lot of homes. She lost a lot of love. She lost a lot, and we can't do that anymore. So she is our special speaker today. I'm going to turn it over to Elaine Kaladi. Let's give her a great round.
I hail from the Pacific Palisades. I have a farm in Fallbrook, and I spent the last 5 years working on farming in California, railroad and supply chain. I have been up and down the 99 more times than you guys can count, and I have seen so many signs that say, "Is watering our farms stealing water, Gavin Newsom?" So we have a lot to talk about when it comes to our current management, a lot to talk about. When the Palisades fires happened here in California, I saw opportunity. I saw opportunity that was undeniable, and that is, you can see how poorly our resources have been managed in this state for decades. And the management of this state is culpable. It's important. Recall or no recall, they're culpable. We have no working fire hydrants. Think about that. We have no reservoirs that hold water. I don't know, but he cannot be president.
No, he cannot. No, Gavin.
This is not okay. And if we don't stand up for the fact that he hasn't been able to manage the state, and moreover has left us, he's completely left us. He has a different agenda, whether it be a podcast or traveling to other countries and other states to get votes for his presidential run. He's not in California. He is not present. And in our little municipality, Los Angeles, we have Mayor Karen Bass.
The worst.
And I know this personally from experience. My uncle, Kevin Brace, was murdered in June last year. Our family is forever changed, and this happened in a state where law enforcement is underfunded and overwhelmed. On women's rights, Newsom has been a hypocrite. He's long supported biological men competing in women's sports, endangering fairness and safety. But as he eyes a 2028 presidential run, he flip-flopped in an interview with Charlie Kirk, calling it deeply unfair without changing any policies. He's not leading. He's pandering. This is who Gavin Newsom is. A man who plays both sides. A man who uses nonprofits, no-bid contracts, and public tragedies to enrich himself and his allies while the people of California suffer. So today, I'm calling for full transparency and accountability. I am announcing my intention to subpoena the financial records of Gavin Newsom, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, and all related 501c3 organizations.
I am your host, Matt Kennedy, and together we are reversing the narrative. And I have met an awesome young lady named Jordan Brace, who is affiliated with the Turning Point USA and has quite the background. And you've done quite a bit for your age, and not to put you on the spot or anything about your age, but it's really inspiring for me as a millennial to see the Gen Zs like stepping up to get involved in U.S. politics and speaking up for truth and to really stand up for something that she believes in. So, Jordan, thanks for joining with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So, what really got you involved in wanting to be active in politics, and how did you get involved with Turning Point USA?
Well, it's kind of a long story, believe it or not. When I was 7 years old, that was kind of when I realized this isn't right. I don't like Obama, things like that. I just said, Mom, I don't like Obama. I asked questions. I was like, I don't like him. And then
join the crowd, right?
Fast forward 2020, I'm 13 years old. I decided I'll sign up for X because I was already interested in politics, doing my own research. Loved Trump before he even became president. And it was
President Trump, we love you, brother. Keep fighting for us. Fight, 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 bro.
Absolutely. And from there, I kind of just grew my following over the last 5 years. And from then on, I got a DM from one of the. I'm trying to remember exactly how this happened because this actually was a couple of years ago. I got a message from one of the field reps with Turning Point, and he was telling me, like, I'm interested in what you do. Would you like to be the president of your own chapter?
Wow.
And I was like, I would love to. So I met with him, found members, and now I have a chapter in El Dorado Hills. It's
awesome. Amazing. El Dorado Hills, for those that don't know or not familiar with Northern California, it's just east of Sacramento on the way to Lake Tahoe. So I love that area. It's such a beautiful, it's a hot area.
Right.
You better find Folsom Lake if you're in El Dorado Hills.
I love Folsom Lake.
It's a fun lake to boat on, huh?
Right.
Right. So so you're 13 years old, 2020. You started becoming more vocal online. I'd imagine you were using Twitter, and then it became X, right? And that transition. Did you face a lot of censorship when you first started becoming vocal on any other platforms? Or
absolutely, especially because of my age. A lot of people didn't even think it was me. They were like, "Oh, your mom is posting for you." Like, I used to get underwhelmed a lot. People would, oh my gosh, underestimate what I was saying, that I didn't know what I was talking about. And I still get that sometimes because I'm still young. But
you're an old soul. I can tell already, Jordan. Like, seriously, there's people twice your age that don't even pay attention to these important issues. So I commend you for all the stuff you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah. I really appreciate it. I try to get my voice out and influence people my age, older than me, younger than me, whoever will listen. Really,
that's important. So by the age of 13, you started getting active. You joined forces with Turning Point USA. Have you been to a lot of the events that they put on at the colleges?
I have. I went to one. I think it was about 2 months ago. It was one of Charlie Kirk's events with Riley Gaines.
Oh yeah, love Riley Gaines.
Oh my gosh, I space on names sometimes. I feel bad.
Hey, you and me both, girl. Don't worry about it.
In San Francisco.
Okay.
At USF.
Okay.
And it was an amazing experience to just witness that.
Yeah.
And get up close and watch as he debated students, and it was a fun experience. I liked it.
Isn't it crazy that we're in a world where President Trump has to sign executive orders and things to acknowledge that women should only be in women's sports?
Oh, it's insane that's not common sense for some people.
Right.
Like, there is proof that women have been endangered. Their lives have been endangered because of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've heard of many cases around the country. Mm-hmm. So it's not just, they want to throw all kinds of slander and calling people homophobes just because we're trying to stand up for actual women. And I thought that the left was supposed to be for women's rights. What's up with that?
They flip-flop with the word feminist and homophobe and words like that. They use the word when they want to. They want to stand up for women, but they want to stand up for women that were born as men, and if you speak up against that, you're transphobic, and if you don't, you're not a feminist. It all gets confusing.
Yeah, and that's what they do. They confuse people that get their emotions involved in things that are probably not factual whatsoever. So
the Democrats tend to put emotions over logic.
Yeah.
Why can't we can have both? But you should not be putting your emotions over logic and facts.
That's true. That's so true, Jordan. So I also heard your speech earlier that you had mentioned that you had gone to Mar-a-Lago. Was that before you went to the Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania?
That was a little under a year before.
Oh, okay, cool. So was that your very first Trump rally?
The Butler rally. No, it was my second.
Okay, they're a lot of fun,
so
right?
It was really fun because I had previously, back when I was like not as active, I went to a rally in Reno. Years ago. I don't even remember when. I think it was during his first term. But yeah, it's my second, and it was a lot of fun. I got to meet President Trump there too. It was amazing.
Yeah, he definitely has a powerful persona when he's in the room.
Oh yeah.
So I've been to Mar-a-Lago one time for a fundraiser for America's Future.
Oh wow.
And he had just returned from a flight from New York. Unfortunately, when one of the illegal migrants had assassinated one of the New York police officers, he had attended the funeral of that officer. And,
yeah, he does that quite often.
Yeah, that's why he is the people's president. You know, he really does care for people, and he obviously has been saddened by all of these different people who have been affected by the illegal migrants in the country and the sanctuary status that they receive in states and cities. So, so tell me a little bit about that experience at Mar-a-Lago. What was it like for you?
It was amazing. I met a number of people there. I met Dan Bongino, and I actually got an invite from Dinesh and Debbie D'Souza.
Really?
It was really nice connecting with more people. I also met Carrie Lake.
Nice.
And I was actually there to watch the premiere of Dinesh D'Souza's new movie, Police State.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty new at the time anyway.
Yeah.
And it was just a really fun and great experience, and I was really honored to meet all these people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. So I also heard during your speech that you're wanting to get involved in some of the transparency behind the recent wildfire fundraising from the Palisades Malibu fires and where some of that money has gone missing. Can you tell us more about what you're wanting to do with Gavin Newsom and to bring transparency to some of his policies and what he's been doing since those fires?
Well, some people may see this as a stretch, but I do want to subpoena his legal records and see where that money is going, so that the people can finally have the truth. The people that suffered from the Palisades fires and the families of the victims, they can finally see the truth.
Yeah.
Because they deserve that. They don't deserve to have any more lies.
Yeah, that's so true. You know, and from what I understand, a lot of the debris from those wildfires, it's been 7 months already, and there's been maybe 50% has been cleaned up.
From what I've heard, it's still smoky there. When wind blows, you can still smell smoke, and there's dust everywhere. It's insane.
Yeah, and that they haven't really issued enough permits for people to rebuild. And here in Sacramento, they're passing bills that allow for low-income housing in that region of Malibu, right on the coastline. So that's pretty wild, right?
Right, absolutely. It's not enough to just, providing them with the housing. That's not going to do. That's not going to provide them justice. That's not going to allow them to find out what really happened, why these fires happened, why they're not getting justice for their families.
Cool. So you're a senior in high school right now.
I am.
Yeah. You looking forward to going to college?
Yeah, I am. I'm excited.
Awesome. Have you kind of picked out what pathway you want to take with college?
I'm honestly looking at different pathways. I probably should have something secured right now, but I don't. I haven't really decided if I want to go straight in and get my undergrad, or maybe go to community college first.
Yeah.
And just go there for a couple years, then transfer, so that I have an easier time. I mean, not that paying for it would be a problem, but it would be easier anyway.
Yeah.
And I've also considered, if I do go to community college, or even if I don't, joining behind the scenes in the Air Force. It's a consideration.
Wow.
So that's 3 different paths that I'm considering, or 4.
Yeah. I can see you Air Force. I can see you Space Force. You got a good brain on you. So it's good that you have that desire to kind of do something with your skills.
I do have a fear of heights, so I would definitely not do any of the flying, but I would love to work in intelligence behind the scenes.
Nice, girl. Well, I'm really, really happy to meet you today. And
it was a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, I love the work that you've been doing. You're super inspirational to all the younger people, the Americans, and I hope that you have a future in staying in politics. Would you ever consider, maybe after college, have you thought that far ahead of maybe running for an office?
Again, a little bit of a stretch, but one day I want to become a lawyer, and then from there I want to get into politics and hopefully run for office and become president one day.
Right, and well, hopefully you'll be entering into a time period where we've already made America great again, or
Yeah.
at least getting there. There's so much work to do, but obviously, if people care about it and get involved with it, we can make a difference, right?
Yeah. If we don't have a female president by then with like Republican smart ideologies, I would be happy to be one of the first.
What if it's you, girl?
Who knows?
Who
Maybe.
knows? All right, I like that attitude.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in today to the Ultra MK podcast. I am your host, Matt Kennedy. This is my new friend, Jordan Brace, and we look forward to seeing much more from her and her group, Turning Point USA.
Absolutely. Thank you.
They die. So people are dying, businesses are dying, our communities are dying. So what's the cost of that? You're talking about billions of dollars, right? So people care, people have hearts, people need to be respected. California, the administration needs to respect the people of California. So next we have Carol Peffley, and she is running for California State Assembly District 28. And she has new bills in motion that will take away, well, no, she's talking about new bills in motion that will take away parental rights. Carol is a Silicon Valley business owner and parent running for California State Assembly District 28 on a platform rooted in common sense solutions. The rest, I'll let for her to explain.
Hello.
Carol Peffley.
Great being here. My name is Carol Peffley, and I'm running for California State Assembly District 28, which is Morgan Hill, a big portion of Silicon Valley, Santa Clara County, and a big portion of Santa Cruz County. Since 2012, we have been under a Democrat trifecta with a Democrat governor, a Democrat assembly, and a Democrat Senate. And they have a supermajority where they can just pass anything they want, and they do. With all the problems we have going on here in California, from the homeless industrial complex to the transgender mutilation surgeries done on children, all they can do is pass more bad bills to take away parents' rights, LGBTQ in schools, gender ideology in schools. They are fixated on this stuff, and we need to be able to stop them. The only way we can do that is to break the Democrat supermajority in 2026. This absolutely has to be done, and we're very close.
And I'm back, everybody, here at the state capitol in Sacramento for the Gavin Newsom recall. And I am honored to be, once again, your host, Matt Kennedy, with the Ultra MK podcast. And I saw this lovely lady in red, the lady in red. And I met her. I really wanted to know who she is. I know she got to speak here at the Capitol, but I was moving my car. So in just a brief moment, she told me so much about what she's been doing here in the San Francisco Bay Area and some of her background. Born in Taiwan and immigrated to the United States around when?
1984, 41 years ago.
It was like it was yesterday, right? And but she assimilated so well that she actually ran for office, and she's a very strong, passionate woman who believes in freedom, believes in our Constitution, and stands up for the voiceless in an area of California that has a lot of censorship and a lot of intimidation of people who believe something but maybe can't share it openly because of just the way that the media machine and the propaganda that's come out of the left wing of the country makes those people feel intimidated. So, Wendy, thanks for joining with me.
Oh, thank you. Welcome.
Yeah,
thank you for
nice
having
to
me.
meet you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, what brings you out here to the state capitol?
What brings me out here is that I want to continue to be a voice for the voiceless, especially for the Asian communities, especially minority women, especially, and the seniors, who might not have the voice or either for whatever reason. And it's very important that we continue. I continue to be the voice and to speak out, and just to continue to defend their rights. That it's our unalienable rights.
That's right.
That's
derived from God.
Derived from God. That's protected in United States Constitution. And I just want to continue to be the voice for them.
Yeah, it's so important, especially in our state of California, because it's been a one-party rule now for over 20 years. When I was young, and maybe when you first immigrated, back then, President Reagan was in office, and before that, he was a governor of California. So we've had this massive shift in political control in our state. What have you seen since you've lived here, and where are we today, and where do we need to go?
Okay, so before I ran for office. I just will give you a little bit of background. When I came, the reason my parents sacrificed everything they have to send us to United States is to benefit from this freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and also the American dreams. Everyone has the opportunity to pursue their happiness, to pursue what they want. And this is the reason why I'm here legally. And so I'm grateful to this great nation, but I cannot no longer safely say the same to my children. Here's a state where I inherit under my watch that is high tax, high crime, high regulation, high inflation, and also
Homelessness.
and yeah, everything, high congestion, and then that taxation without representation. And then the very important, and the reason I decided to speak up and stand up and not give up is because what happened the last few years with the mandates, these medical mandates. And I feel that if we don't have a choice, what goes in our body, we are no different than livestock.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is the reason why I stood up in front of school boards in, I think, April 2023, where 6 out of 9 community colleges still have the COVID jab mandates. And so as soon as I did that, and then the mandates went away. So I'm very thankful. And I realized the fight is for not just our generation, but for our children's generation. I wanted to speak up, continue to speak up, because I wanted to also set an example for my children and their generation, how to fight for theirs in the future.
Wow, and that's important to know that, because so many people who are like born here don't have that type of love and appreciation for America and for the rights that we are born with, or that once you become a legal citizen, you inherit those rights. So I think that's so important. And wouldn't you agree that California is under control of a regime of people who have direct ties and affiliation with communist China and certain people over there? Because look at how Gavin Newsom rolls out the red carpet for President Xi Jinping. Do you see that there's direct conflict there, and what should we be concerned about?
Well, we should be concerned with any foreign powers that want to influence our politics. Yes, I do see that. I'm from Taiwan, and that threat is constant. So we see that everywhere. But in the United States, the threats could be from the political class, that whoever they're in bed with, or whoever they're colluding with and cooperating with. It could be, like I said, foreign powers from China or from anywhere. So we have to be aware and actually get ready to fight back. The problem I see is that people are just too comfortable. Things that it cannot happen here in my backyard. And I think that's one of the reasons why I want to continue to speak up. And also just shed light, because that's what God said, right? You stand and you shine.
That's right.
And then you let people see things, and then let the good, and then you continue to fight. But I let God decide the outcome. I mean, I might not win every battle. I mean, even just people right here who are continuing to fight, we might not win every battle, but I know that the battle belongs to the Lord, and He asks us to stand and stand firm, and that's what I'm doing. But to say, the foreign influences, it's in bed with the political class, locally, statewide, and also at the federal level.
I agree with that. And I'm so glad to hear you talk about God in this interview, because wouldn't you agree that this is a spiritual battle that we are engaged in? It's not just politics as usual, because I look at examples of technology, for example, that is trying to erode the brains of our youth, like TikTok, for example. I understand that in certain countries, if you look at the algorithms of TikTok, they might have things that are wholesome or inspirational, but yet our algorithms in America are full of debauchery and just like a degradation of fabric of society based on the content that they push through the algorithms. Have you ever noticed that too?
Yes. So, for example, here is telling basically our children not to have kids. We have too many kids. Humans are the ones who are destroying the or the earth.
Yeah.
Yet are the second largest economy of the world, right? China. It's pushing a three-child policy and trying to lower the age of legal to marry, right? And that is because right now you have to be a certain age for male and men and women to get married, to be legally married. But now they're relaxing all these rules to increase their population. So these are the things that I see. And for example, they were banning any male like entertainers that are too feminine. They tell them to toughen up.
Yeah.
So this is the difference between what we see in our social media and also in our the second largest economy. But technology is just another way to basically indoctrinate our people in general.
People.
So that way they just advance that.
Yep.
But it's not just the technology, and I really feel that there's an assault on our like I said, and on our family, on our faith, and on our freedom.
Yep.
And so that this is something that we have to stand up for.
And you know what? I do not want to mislead the viewership that the common people of China are amazing, beautiful people.
Yes.
It's the political party in power, the Chinese Communist Party, that we are referring to when we talk about China. And I feel that, I mean, in press announcements made by President Trump and our border czar Tom Homan, is that the Chinese CCP has been smuggling all of the ingredients to make fentanyl in through the borders and through the networks of the Mexican cartel. And so I think that that's another way that they're trying to erode at the fabric of our country by killing people with addictions.
Well, it's like a reverse opium war.
Right.
Right. So that it's very but to me, just like I just want to reiterate what he says. We're not against the Chinese people. Like I'm ethnically Chinese, and I have good friends, neighbors here. There are actually Chinese. They are good people. Just right now, the Democrats and the Republicans, they are also good people too. It's the people who are in charge, in power. They're the ones that the political class. They are the one against we the people, regardless if you're Americans, if you're Chinese, or if you're Russians, or you're Ukrainians. Okay, it's these political class, permanent political class against we the people, and that's the reason why we the people, regardless of your color, ethnicity, we need to unite.
That's right. That's right. No, great points made, Wendy. And these politicians are also colluding with big corporations, big banks, BlackRock, Vanguard, to fund some of these operations that they're not legally able to do. So they'll start an NGO, nonprofit, to do some of those type of operations. And I'm praying that in this administration that we can see transparency and that we know what has been happening, because I'm praying for justice more than anything.
Yes.
If crimes have been committed, especially with the C-19, I'm talking about,
Yes.
and what just happened in 2020, if we can get to the bottom of that, those are crimes against humanity. There are still people dying right now, not from a virus, but from experimental jabs.
Yeah. So one thing I can say, this is you can Google it to see check my the source. So Albert Bourla from Pfizer said a couple years ago, saying that they will see cancer, unproportional,
Super
unseen
cancer.
before,
Yeah.
unseen before. 1 out of 3 will have cancer.
Wow.
So you can Google it. He said it publicly in the news. That's when he bought cancer research, I think, drugs.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's one thing.
And because
I see
of big
that rising.
censorship from big tech, if you can't find those articles about Mr. Borland on Google, I encourage my viewers to check out search.brave. DuckDuckGo, you might find some stuff there, but search.brave is a more trusted search engine to be able to find real articles that aren't being shoved to the bottom of a search engine. So, Wendy, what are you working on next? Like, what has God called you to do next?
So one thing I just wanted to reiterate what you said about basically the government are using corporations. So it's like state capitalism, and it's a partnership, but at the same time they're bypassing basically our constitution, right? That government cannot infringe on our rights to provide these socialized services. So they're trying to water down water down the, what I call the Marxism.
Yeah.
And this is what so state Marxism equals neo-Marxism. State capitalism equals to neo-Marxism.
That's right.
And basically what they want to do is that they want to consolidate power and centralize control.
Yeah.
And if you control energy, you control a nation, you control food, you control people, and if you control currencies, you control the world.
Right.
And right now we see that it's happening. But it's just that for me, it's just continue to speak up publicly for the community, for my area, and just to continue to be the light and hopefully to shine, and at the same time to give people hope that they will stand up too. Because, if we stand together,
that's right.
Like I said, this state will be safe.
That's right. One nation under God.
Yeah,
and that's for everybody. It doesn't matter what race or how much money you make. This country can offer so much good stuff if we can just stay united and stay awake, stay aware, stay educated, and always question authority. Because most of the time, they don't have our best interests, right?
Yeah, well, distrust and distrust, and then verify.
Yeah. Wendy, thank you so much for talking with me today. And if people want to find you, do you have any social media?
Yes, I do. Right now, I have if you go to my website, even though this is old, I'm not running for city council, but I still have the website open. So you can go to that and go to my social media page.
Okay,
Facebook page.
Perfect. We'll make sure that we'll get her links in the drop down below. And Wendy, I want to stay in touch with you.
Okay.
I believe in you as a person in the Bay Area. We need as many freedom fighters as we can in the San Francisco Bay Area. To all my Asian brothers and sisters, wherever you're out there in internet land, we love you. And you're going to see more from Wendy, I could already tell. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
3 weeks ago today, I suffered from a stroke. Seriously, true news. I suffered from a stroke. That's silly, like anybody enjoys a stroke. That stroke is great, when can I do it again? But I tell you all that because this is my first time actually making a public appearance after this event. The Lord has healed me so greatly. I can actually use my left hand now to wave. Hello.
Right.
Hello back there.
Hello, Charlie.
Oh, Paul, Union Patriots here. I love my Freedom Riders 1776, and they brought barbecue. Keith, you rock. That was so awesome, man. I love them so much. And we the people CA, but anyway, off topic. A poll was taken by Governor Gavin Newsom's office, which asked whether people who live in California think illegal immigration is a serious problem. 29%, only 29% of the respondents answered, yes, it is a serious problem. However, a full 71% of respondents answered, no es una problema seriosa. See, that was a joke. And it's funny because it's freaking true. Let's go back to early February. Let's get an example of exactly how arrogant our governor is. Last February, during a Zoom meeting with a dozen mayors from different cities about a mental health proposition or some such crap, Governor Hairdo, that's what I've actually called him, Leo Narano, Governor Hairdo recounted seeing a man walk out of a Target store without paying while he was checking out. He's telling this to the governors and the mayors in the Zoom call. When he asked the checkout clerk who was ringing up his purchase why the shoplifter wasn't stopped, the employee responded, quote, the governor lowered the threshold so there's no accountability, unquote. Newsom was angry. He replied, that's just not true. Explaining that California's $950 threshold for grand theft is among the toughest in the nation. Yeah. Yes, he actually said that. The poor worker did not initially recognize him, but upon realizing who he was, she became very flustered, called over some of the other employees, said, can we get a selfie with you? Newsom declined. This is all true. That petulant pile of cattle excrement refused to take photos with them, insisting instead on continuing the conversation with their manager. Governor Gravely expressed frustration, saying, quote, why am I spending $380 and everyone can walk the hell right out, unquote. That's a great question, Squidward. Why are we?
What's up, everybody? We're back, and I'm your host, Matt Kennedy, with the Ultra MK podcast, where together we're going to reverse the narrative. And I have a very, very cool Californian that I'm standing here with, who is a gubernatorial candidate for the 2026 election here in California, Mr. Leo Zaki. What's up, bro?
Dude,
how are you?
I'm good, brother. What's cracking?
Hey, man, just trying to change California, just like you.
I think we all are. I think it's pretty simple. We can't trust the people that are in this building. They've clearly showed time and time again that they don't care about you. They don't care about your family. They don't care about your business. And all they want is power. They're happy to burn the place down and roll over the ashes. And I think we the people, I know I'm certainly fed up with it. You're certainly fed up with it. Everybody who came here today is. But the rest of the state is feeling that way. And they're ready for change. And they don't mind if that D grows a couple of legs.
Right. And doesn't it seem like all of the events and all of the scorched earth that we're seeing from our current governor and all of the other people that work out of this building, all of the bills that they're trying to pass, the way that they're handling situations like fires in California, homelessness, the bullet train boondoggle, it's like, if you're not awake as a Californian at this point, like, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pray for those people, man, because
unfortunately, you can't save everybody. You can try, but you can't save them all. But no, you're right. What's happening is it's just one excessive failure after the next. But there's two common denominators. It's the same people in power, and it's the money laundering. It's where's the money? Where'd it go?
Right.
Where's the money going for the homeless? The $25 billion we spent on the homeless. What did we get? 50% more homeless. Where did that go? Oh, what about the $100 million that they raised for helping the fire victims? Oh, we don't know where that went.
Right. What about all the money that went to illegal migrants that were here getting health care, lodging,
but they passed,
debit cards?
But they passed that. They said, sure, we, the state of California, legislators and the governor who sign off on it, we want to do that because they're in power. It's not we, the people, said, oh, yeah, let's just give all our money away to people that are breaking the law and shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
It's the people that once they're in, they're rooted, and you have a populace that's struggling to survive. When you think about how expensive life is, I mean, the average rent in California is like $2,500 a month at least, and probably a little bit more. Gas is $5.50, at least down the street from me, and I've seen it higher, I've seen it lower, but
groceries nearly doubled.
Oh, groceries are crazy expensive. We're paying 14.9% in state income tax on top of the 35% federal income tax. So you're already down half your cash out the gate.
Yeah.
It's almost 10% in sales tax, give or take, depending on where you are in the state. So you're just getting nickel and dimed at every turn. By the time you're like, oh, I have anything left, it's like I got to go to my second job.
Yeah.
So people don't have time to focus on what's going on in here. They're just constantly getting hit with the punches.
Yeah, they're like a hamster on the running wheel.
Right, and then you find out about some egregious stuff happening, and you're like, what the F is this?
Yeah, where's the justice? Who's going to call it out? Where are the receipts?
And you never see the consequences too, right? I mean, look, how many hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars have we pissed away on this bullet train to nowhere?
Yeah, it has been.
And they've got nothing done. I mean, look, how can you call yourself a first world country? You can't even build a freaking train.
I saw drone footage of it the other day. I'm like, really? That's it? It's like 3 football fields long.
Yeah, but we've been working on it for 20 plus years.
20 years. Yeah.
You can't build a train. The technology has been around for 200 years.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Leo, I do have a good question for you, though, real quick. Should you get elected by the people of California,
for sure,
what kind of obstacles and hurdles will you face if the rest of Sacramento, down ballot, because the GOP has been spineless for a long time in California.
Completely. They have a lot of money.
That's right. And so it's almost like California, because of its size and its surplus and business, that's like its own country, right? It's almost like it needs its own disruptor, kind of like a President Trump figure for this state. So with that being said,
sure that guy.
Right? I'm for him too. I love it. I love President Trump. But what can we learn from the MAGA movement that could then be applied to California? Because if you get elected, but you don't have the people to support you, you could be like, hamstrung.
Look, the MAGA movement's bigger than President Trump, okay? It's people that are just so sick of being lied to and have a big sour taste and distrust in the government. That's what MAGA is. Okay, Trump might be the figurehead at the moment, but look, with or without Trump, people are still going to have the same problems. Okay, we don't have faith in our government. We don't believe in them. We're not seeing the results, and our lives are getting worse. What happens here with California, with me, and all the challenges we'll have, because obviously the big thing is that we have this supermajority legislature. Everybody's like, well, how can you get anything done without the legislature? Okay, it's really simple. What we're doing isn't working. Okay, right now we're playing a big shouting match. It's like the schoolyard. Oh, you're a Republican. You're a racist. Oh yeah, you're a Democrat. You're an idiot. Great, awesome. Are we getting anything done? No, we're just pointing the finger and name calling, and it's stupid.
Partisan politics as usual.
Right. Look, I want to sit down with every single elected member of our legislative body and break bread with them. Okay, sit down, have a meal, have a drink if they want. Get to know who they are, what makes them tick, and why they think and operate the way they do. Because you have to build this human connection. Because regardless of the party affiliation, it's one legislative body, right? Well, I mean, Senate and the representatives, but it's one branch of government that makes these decisions. It's one decision that gets made, and it impacts everybody. Okay, I'm not here to be the Republican governor of California for Republicans. I'm here to be the governor of California for the Californian people, and not my financiers and my overlords or some globalist agenda. Okay, I don't subscribe to that.
You're not going to roll the red carpet out for President Xi
Jinping?
Yeah, you're not going to do that. You're not going to clean up the front of San Francisco while he pulls up.
If you're going to clean anything up, you can't just pick and choose where you clean. You do it all or you don't do it.
It's like, why couldn't he just do that full time?
Well, that's the thing. We got a population of untapped labor in this state. It's called the homeless. They're on drugs. They got a mental health crisis, but they need to get treatment. But they also need to learn a job skill. We're going to help get them back onto the road to success by giving them the tools to actually be functional members of society and help build up their self-esteem and give them a job skill. And then they earn money doing it. They get off drugs. They have their mental health under control. They have money in the bank. They have a job skill, and they're eligible for government-assisted housing. And that's how you get people back into
common sense politics.
It's really simple.
Yep.
You give 10,000 people a shovel, they can dig a hole. They can also pour concrete. Congratulations, you built the reservoir.
Right.
That's how you end the drought.
No more handouts.
That's the problem. It's not about a handout; it's a hand up, and that's what these people don't want to do, because they want everybody broken and dependent on them for their little meager handout that they're willing to give you. Just enough to satiate you, but have it so it's so difficult for you to break out that you're clamoring for their gracious little meager offering that, by the way, you bust your ass for.
Yeah, right. Leo, you know what? Just for a close in this interview, what is something that you can really stand firm on when it comes to your policies, your plan, your mission? What's something that the California voter must hear out of this interview?
This isn't about me. It's just never been about me. I don't want this job. I don't want to be a public figure. I don't have a choice. If I honestly felt that there was a better person out there, I would 100% be behind that person and not have to do this. I'd love to be wealthy and anonymous. That'd be really cool. But the thing is nobody's coming to save us. Okay? My family's business got destroyed. 90 years. Largest poultry producer on the West Coast. Largest privately owned employer in the state of California. Largest organic turkey producer in the nation. In business, 90 years, crushed because of California's policies and regulatory process and minimum wage and insurance and utility price hikes. And we just couldn't make it.
Squeezes out the middle class.
Right. So look, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. But the difference is at a young age, I was very blessed to have the opportunity to be part of the California Poultry Federation and come to Sacramento and go to DC and meet our elected officials. And I'm telling you, they are not smart, and they don't give a crap about you or your business or your family. They just want to be in power, and I'm not that guy, okay? I want to do my job. I want to fix this place so I can go back to my life, and I can go and start my family.
Well, there you have it, folks. This is the candidate Leo Zaki, running for governor of California in 2026. Leo, it's really good to see you here.
Mark, you're the man, brother.
Yeah. I'm glad you came up to Sacramento from SoCal. That's where you reside, right? Down in SoCal?
Yeah, I live in LA.
LA?
I cut my little vacation I gave myself for my birthday short just so I could come here today.
Thanks for coming to NorCal, bro.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah,
I'm here for all the people. But we got a lot more state to cover.
So if people want to learn more about your platform, do you have any other speaking engagements coming up soon that they can tune into? I know you've been doing a lot with Kim Yater of Take the Power Back. She's doing a lot of forums with the candidates, which I love because we get to compare, contrast all the different candidates.
Oh, yeah, no, we got a lot of stuff coming up. I'll be on Adam Carolla's podcast on the 19th of August, whenever you're watching this. And I've got the CAGOP convention coming up. I'll be there.
You typically put all your events on your website?
They should be.
Okay.
I'll make sure that it's updated, but go to leozaki.com if you want to learn more. Follow me on the socials at Leo S. Zaki. That's ZACKY. And yeah, I think you guys are going to really be impressed with what I have to say. Check out my long form interviews. You really want to hear all the details because there's so much for me to cover. I can't do it in 5 minutes.
Leo, can I get you back on the podcast?
Oh,
And maybe
anytime,
we'll
brother.
sit down for an hour. We'll talk about things that, are weird and wacky about California.
Anything you want. I got
right.
nothing to hide.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, good to see you again, Leo.
My dude.
Yep. And you guys, thanks for tuning in today. We are here at Sacramento Capitol. Thanks for watching the Ultra MK podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kennedy. I'm thanking Leslie behind the camera today. Leslie, thanks for all the hard work you've been putting in. You guys, we'll see you next time on the next episode. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Matt Kennedy with Ultra MK podcast, where together we're reversing the narrative. And we are here still at the Sacramento Capitol for the recall Gavin Newsom rally that just took place here. And I'm very humbled and honored to meet a very special woman who I'm just getting a chance to know. Her name is E.B. Lynch, and she is running for California Lieutenant Governor.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
How cool is that?
It is actually, it blows my mind now. Originally, it didn't, because when I got called, and I do mean called, I got called by God to put my hat in the race. I was not excited about it because, I was 24 years military. I had retired. I figured I'm going to be on a beach somewhere like, oh, yes, my turn.
Right.
And God said no, because the laborers are few. So it's time for all the ones who are called by my name to get involved. And that included me.
That's right. Wow.
Yeah.
I love her passion and the fact that she has a servant's heart. I could tell already because of her years of service. Thank you, by the way, for all those years of service.
Thank you.
And so are you a California native? Have you been here for a long time? What's your story?
I've been in California most of my life. And I say most of my life because I was originally born in Africa. I was born in Nigeria and came here when I was 4 years old. But if you ask any of my Nigerian friends, they're like, no, she's not African.
She's American.
She is a Cali girl.
Cali girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't see anymore.
Yes.
There's billions of dollars that are going missing.
Yes.
What have been some of the things that you would like to focus on with the governor once you get elected?
So one of the things, before I answer that question, I want to just highlight something. I didn't know this before I did my research, but California is one of 3 states that has a lieutenant governor that acts on his or her own, which means that you can have a lieutenant governor that's a Republican and a governor that's Democrat, because they don't run together on the same ticket, on the same slate. So I, for one, want to make sure that I'm doing right by the people who put me in office. And those are the people that I serve. So whoever gets into the seat of governor, I pray every day that God has us elect somebody that's going to follow godly rules, that's going to make sure that they put the people first, because Californians have the vote and Californians have the right to have their vote counted. So we want to make sure that whoever we're voting for puts God first, right? And puts you first. So, I have seen a lot of things. I've been in California, like I said, most of my life. And there was a time where we actually had accountability from our leaders. We no longer have that.
Yeah.
Our leaders are spending money that has never been earmarked for them to spend, because I am of the belief that our money, we are stewards of other people's money.
Amen.
And being a steward means that you don't get to decide how to spend it. You go to the person who owns the money, which is the American taxpayer, the California taxpayer, and you say, how would you like me to spend this money, because it is yours?
That's right.
We don't get that anymore. And for a few decades now, we've had dictators instead of leaders. Leaders need to understand that they are servants first. And we don't have servant leaders in office, and we need that back. We had, during the pandemic, there was a time when Gavin Newsom said that he had a surplus in the billions. And then a few months later, mind you, he came out and said, oh, we're in a deficit. How do you do that? How do you go from having a surplus, not only a surplus, but a surplus in the billions, to having a deficit? That's either stupidity, mismanagement, or there's definitely somebody stealing.
Yeah.
So we need to get in there, and I am 100% for doging our accounts, because we need to know where our money is being spent.
You hear that, Elon? We need your help out here, Elon.
100%, I'm all for it. So come on down.
Well, another thing too, living through the pandemic, right? We really saw tyranny in its finest, right? And I know that there's a lot of mama bears out there that really want to protect children, that want to be heard in school board meetings and in front of county board of supervisor meetings. Papa bears too. They're getting off the couch finally, Papa bears, but parents overall, right? Parental rights. You know, there's a bill right now, AB 495. That they're trying to pass in California. I believe it's going through the Senate in California now, or it's in finance. Okay, thank you, Leslie. And so, which is an assembly bill that is for a document that a person can fill out who is not a legal guardian of a child, and be able to remove them from a school without any identification or background checks, and take custody of a child, which opens the door for so many evil things like human trafficking, child trafficking. So what is your stance on some of those policies and the way that parental rights are under attack?
So I'm all about getting back to common sense. There is no common sense in that bill. We understand that children cannot make certain legal decisions. Why did we say that? So I'm a nurse, and we understand that the frontal lobe of any child is not developed until they're well into their 20s. So how do you expect a child to be able to make certain decisions and know what is right for them and what is wrong for them when they don't have that life experience? Not only that, children are just by nature trusting. So they're going to trust that the adults that have been put in place to protect them know what they're doing. So if we, as the adults, are allowing people who we have not vetted, who we don't know what their true intentions are, who we don't know what they're going to do when we are not watching, if we allow those people to take our children, those children are going to automatically trust this individual, because we are saying, yes, this person can take you. So it should never, ever be the government's place to decide what happens with your child. The government should never say, I am the parent. No, we are parents, and our inalienable right to raise our children the way we see fit should never have anything to do with government's ability to do one way or the other what we should be doing. So I think that we have to get involved. We can't say, oh, well, they're doing their job and they're doing it for us. We have to say, hey, I don't always know what you're doing, so let me go to the Senate and be able to see what's going on. Let me vote. And that means reading what you're voting. Don't just take somebody's word for it, right? Because we've done that.
Right.
And then one of the reasons I am running for lieutenant governor is because I will be the deciding vote for Senate. And there's way too many Senate bills that have come through that made no sense. We need to get back to common sense governance.
Wow.
And that's what I'm all about.
That's amazing, because it just seems like the current people in power in Sacramento and governor want to do the exact opposite of the Make America Great Again policies. Anything President Trump or his administration wants to do to make America greater, they want to do the opposite. And they want to create, slander and smoke and mirrors. So it sounds to me like you really want to build a model of integrity back in Sacramento.
Yes.
Again.
I was in the Air Force for 24 years, and one of the things that I loved about our Air Force motto was integrity first. Why? Because if you don't have integrity, everything else crumbles. Because integrity is about doing what's right when no one is watching. So if we have to watch you all the time, that becomes taxing. We cannot live under that type of rule. We have to have somebody that can self-govern, right? That can be able to tell themselves no first. Because if they can't tell themselves no, how are they going to say no to those who are trying to give them money in order to sway their vote?
That's right.
So it's all about integrity. When we bring it back, we first have to bring God back into governance.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
You can't have integrity without having the creator of integrity involved. There's a lot of people who say separation of church and state. We have to teach people what that truly means. Separation of church and state doesn't mean that you do not bring your faith into government. actually you should bring your faith into government. That's why the First Amendment allows you the right to your own faith. The First Amendment, not the second, not the third, but the first.
That's right.
What it means, separation of church and states, means that the state cannot force you to have or not have a faith. They cannot force you to have or not have a religion.
Right.
Because that choice was given to us by God.
That's right. And it seems like government, since the Johnson Amendment, has been infringing upon the church, and
Yes.
it's almost like it was a planned censorship for churches to not speak out against tyranny, because you had the Black Regiment of the Revolutionary War,
Yes.
which was a regiment of church leaders and pastors
Right.
that felt that what the king was doing at the time was oppressive and was
Yes.
tyrannical and was going against what the Bible says.
Yes.
And so I'm so happy to meet you today, Evie, and
Thank
to
you.
hear your passion. You truly are a mama bear that is going to roar for all other parents and mama bears too.
Yes.
So we'll be praying for you, and
Thank you.
we'll be praying that you can win and have a landslide victory.
Thank you.
Because the state really needs you. So
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Anything else you'd like to close with?
Yeah, I just want everyone to get involved. So my motto for my my campaign is Kiss It, California. Kiss It means keep igniting, save your spirit. How do you do that? You get involved by praying. People say, oh, what does prayer do? Prayer does a lot. It's through prayer that we can connect. It's through prayer that we can get everybody involved spiritually, but also mentally, because what you think is what you are.
That's right.
So before you can even say the prayer, you must first think the prayer. So pray for our state, pray for our country. We need it. Keep igniting, save your spirit. But once you pray, you will get involved, because God will ignite it, and we will then come back to the greatness that we once were.
Woo, man, she's on fire. Thanks for joining the MK podcast, folks. It's Evie Lynch. It's Echo Bravo Indigo Echo.
Yes.
Lynch. That's where you can find her. Do you have a website that they can check out?
www.eblynch4california.com. EBIELYNCH 4FOR California.com.
And we'll make sure we get her links in the drop down below, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ultra MK podcast. I am your host, Matt Kennedy, and we are here to recall Gavin Newsom. And we're praying that Evie Lynch gets elected to the governorship. So
thank you, Lieutenant Governor 2026.
Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you.
Yeah. So nice to meet you today.
Thank you.
That is our obligation, to inform and alert the American people, to make certain that they possess all the facts that they need and understand them as well, the perils, the prospects, the purposes of our program, and the choices that we face.